The last signal. The galaxy was calm when the message came. At first, it was only static, a broken sound carried across the dark. Then words began to form, sharp and heavy, spoken in the language of the Galactic Council. No one expected it. No, one thought Earth still had the power to speak. Yet the voice was there, echoing through space like a whisper from the grave. This is Earth's final transmission. You have doomed yourselves. The council chamber froze. Hundreds of alien delegates turned toward the sound. Their glowing eyes blinked in confusion. For years, they believed Earth was finished. The humans had burned their world with war and greed. Their cities were silent, their satellites dead, their armies gone. Earth was nothing but ash at the edge of a forgotten system. Yet here was a signal, loud, clear, and filled with defiance. The council speaker, a tall being with a crown of silver horns, leaned forward. "Play it again," he commanded. The words repeated, colder than before. "You have doomed yourselves." Silence followed. For a moment it felt as if the chamber itself was holding its breath. Then laughter broke out. Deep, cruel laughter. "Humans," one delegate sneered, his scaled lips curling. "Even in their last moments they play at drama. What threat could come from a dying world?" But not all were laughing. Among the delegates was a younger officer, a quiet alien with dark eyes. He had studied human history. He remembered their stubborn survival, their endless wars, their ability to endure what should have destroyed them. He whispered softly, "They never speak without reason." The others ignored him. The council played the full transmission. The voice spoke slowly, every word filled with weight. "You believe Earth is weak. You believe humanity is finished. But we warn you, the silence you see is not surrender. It is preparation. You have underestimated us as many before you did, and as with them, so it will be with you. You have doomed yourselves." The final words echoed, then faded into static. A chill moved through the chamber. The speaker narrowed, his eyes. "Where did it come from?" "From Earth's orbit," the technicians answered. "The source is old, older than 2 centuries. Some kind of deep bunker relay. Power levels rising even now." "Impossible," another delegate hissed. "Earth has no energy left. Their reactors died long ago." Yet the signal was real. The growing hum of energy could be measured. Something was waking on that ruined world. The council's voices clashed in chaos. Some called for investigation, others for immediate invasion. "Crush them now," one shouted. "Burn whatever is left before they strike." Another replied, "Strike? With what? They are ghosts clinging to dust." The young officer spoke louder this time. "Do not mock them. Humanity is dangerous when cornered. History shows it. They fight until nothing remains, and even then, they find a way." But the chamber drowned his words with arguments. No one wanted to believe the humans could rise again. No one wanted to admit fear. Far away, on Earth itself, the sky was dark with smoke. The planet seemed dead. But beneath the oceans, in the deserts, and deep under ruined cities, machines hummed. Lights flickered in long-buried tunnels. Codes, whispered through networks thought lost. The signal was not only a warning, it was a beginning. The council did not know this yet. They only heard the threat. But even that was enough to plant unease in their hearts. Back in the chamber, the speaker raised his hand. "We will not let a broken world mock us. Send the fleets. We will see what game these humans are playing." The order was made. Warships prepared to move toward Earth, engines burning bright in the void. Yet in the quiet corner of the chamber, the young officer kept his gaze on the stars. He remembered human words written long ago in their books, words that once terrified even themselves. "Beware the wrath of those who have nothing left to lose." As the fleets left their stations, the final echo of the transmission still lingered across space. A voice not of defeat, but of dark certainty. "You have doomed yourselves." And though the council dismissed it as arrogance, somewhere deep, inside, even the proudest alien felt a shadow of fear. The council's debate. The fleets were already moving when the council gathered again. Dozens of ships turned their paths toward the Sol system, engines glowing like fireflies in the void. But inside the great council chamber, the debate raged louder than ever. The chamber itself was a circle of light and shadow, each delegate seated in a high pillar that floated above the floor. Voices echoed in different tones, hissing, clicking, roaring, whispering, as every species argued about the human signal. "They are finished," shouted a reptilian warlord, his armored scales reflecting the chamber's light. "Do you not? See, this is nothing but a cry for attention. Their planet is dying, their people are scattered, there is no weapon left in their hands." "But the energy spike was real," replied another, a long-bodied creature with glowing mandibles. "The relay on Earth did not send an empty threat. It woke something." A dozen voices shouted at once. Bluff, trap, madness, desperation. Each word battled against the other until the speaker slammed his silver staff down, sending a ringing tone through the air. The noise faded, but the tension did not. "We must not let fear guide us," the speaker said, his horns shining under the chamber lights. "We are the council. We have crushed empires older than the humans. They are nothing but a stubborn ember refusing to die. One wind, and the ember is gone." Some nodded, but others shifted uneasily. Everyone in the galaxy knew the truth about humans. They were unpredictable. Many times they had faced extinction. Many times they had come back stronger. A hologram appeared in the middle of the chamber. It showed Earth spinning slowly in black space. Scars of war cut across its surface. Clouds of smoke covered continents. Oceans boiled with waste. It was a dying world, but strangely, it was not silent. Readings appeared, deep energy signatures hidden under its crust. Patterns rising from the oceans like coded rhythms. "This is not natural decay," the technician explained nervously. "These are deliberate activations. Someone or something is turning them on." The chamber went silent again. One counselor, older than most, leaned forward. His people had once traded with humans long before Earth's collapse. His voice was low but clear. "Do you remember their history? Do you remember how many times they were told, 'You cannot survive'? The ice ages, the plagues, the world wars. Each time they found a way. Even when they destroyed themselves, they rose again. That is who they are." The reptilian warlord hissed in anger. "Stories, myths, do not bring ancient struggles into this. We face only a broken species with no power left." But the younger officer, the quiet one from the last session, stood this time. His voice shook at first but grew stronger. "It is not myth, it is fact. I have studied them. When every empire thought them weak, they adapted. When their own world turned against them, they conquered it anyway. You laugh at their extinction, but listen to their words. You have doomed yourselves." That is not the sound of fear. It is the sound of a hunter waiting for prey to walk into the trap. The chamber erupted again, some mocking, some uneasy. Yet the young officer's words clung to the air like smoke. The speaker finally raised his staff once more. "Enough. We will not waste cycles on ghost stories. The humans are nothing. We will send fleets to confirm it, and if any remnant dares to resist, they will be crushed." Cheers came from the warlike delegates, but others remained silent. Outside, the fleets drew closer to Sol. The stars shimmered across their hulls as they moved in formation, confident and proud. But back inside the council, unease spread like a hidden infection. One delegate, whose species relied on instinct more than logic, whispered to himself, "Why now? Why send a warning if they were truly broken? Why tell us we are doomed unless they wanted us to come?" No one answered. The speaker ended the session with final words. "Humanity is over. Their transmission is a desperate echo. Soon, Earth will belong to us, and their threat will be forgotten." But in the shadows of the chamber, the young officer's eyes remained locked on the hologram of Earth. He watched the faint lights flickering beneath its surface, like embers waiting for air. He thought of the voice again. Calm, cold, certain. And for the first time in his life, he felt afraid. Part 3. The Silent Earth. The alien fleets entered the Sol system with bright engines cutting through the dark. Dozens of warships moved like predators, confident in their power. Their scanners reached across the void, sweeping over the silent planets. Jupiter's storms raged. Saturn's rings glowed faintly, but none of that mattered. Their target was ahead, Earth. When the fleets arrived in orbit, silence greeted them. No defense ships, no planetary shields, no warning broadcasts. Only the ruined planet spinning slowly below. The commanders laughed at first. This is what frightened the Council? A dying world, a ball of smoke and oceans of poison? But the silence grew heavier with every passing hour. Something about the planet felt wrong. It did not feel abandoned. It felt waiting. The alien ships lowered their scanners. The surface was covered with scars of old wars. Cities lay in ruins, their metal bones reaching toward the sky. Forests burned long ago had not grown back. Oceans boiled where reactors once spilled fire. And yet, under all that death, strange signals pulsed. The youngest officer on one of the lead ships leaned toward the readings. "Sir, I'm picking up patterns under the crust. They're too regular to be natural. Power surges, aligned like a network. Underground bunkers," the commander guessed. "Survivors, maybe. Sweep them out." The fleets spread. Shuttles dropped into the atmosphere. Soldiers in heavy armor marched through the ruins of human cities. They expected frightened survivors hiding among the shadows. But there were none. No voices. No footsteps, no signs of life. Only ruins and wind. And yet, the machines were alive. In one shattered city, an alien patrol entered a subway tunnel. Their lights flickered across walls covered in human writing, words painted in haste long ago. Most were warnings. Stay away. Do not enter. We wait below. At the end of the tunnel, a massive door stood sealed. Energy readings pulsed from it, deep and steady, like a heartbeat. The soldiers prepared charges to break it open, but before they could place them, the door shifted. Slowly, heavily, it opened by itself. Beyond the door was not a shelter. It was a machine, vast, stretching into the dark. Cables as thick as trees pulsed with light. Towers of steel rose into the shadows. The sound of turbines rumbled like thunder. This is not a bunker," one soldier whispered. "It's a reactor. A living reactor." Back in orbit, ships above the city detected the same surge. The network below Earth was waking. From the oceans, from deserts, from mountain ranges, signals rose. All connected, all speaking in the same rhythm. The commanders argued over the comms. "It's old infrastructure, nothing more." "No," another replied. "This is organized. This is intentional." Then it happened. One ship, drifting too close over the Atlantic, caught a massive energy spike. Before its commander could react, a beam of light erupted from beneath the ocean. It pierced the ship in a single shot, cutting it apart like paper. The explosion lit the sky, sending fire across the clouds. The fleets went silent. "What was that?" Voices cried. "Where did it come from?" The answer came quickly. Across Earth, one by one, hidden weapons began to wake. Massive towers rose from the seas, covered in rust yet glowing with new power. Deep beneath deserts, silos opened, their ancient cores humming to life. Even the mountains shook as buried cannons turned toward the stars. It was not a random defense, it was coordinated. From the speakers of every alien ship, a voice broke through. A human voice, steady and cold. "We told you." The fleets froze. The commanders shouted for their crews to block the signal, but it was everywhere, pressing into their ears, filling their ships. "You thought Earth was dead. You thought we were finished, but we remain. Not in flesh, but in fire. Not in weakness, but in steel. You have doomed yourselves." The young officer aboard the lead ship felt his blood run cold. The humans had not been silent. They had been preparing. And now, their silence ended. The sky above Earth turned red as weapons charged. The first battle had not even begun, and already the fleets knew. This was no broken world. This was a trap, set long ago, waiting for the moment the galaxy grew arrogant enough to come. From Earth's surface, the glow of its hidden legacy burned brighter and brighter. The humans had spoken their last message, but their machines were speaking now, in the only language the galaxy truly understood, humanity's hidden legacy. The alien fleets pulled back in shock. The destruction of the first warship was no accident. It was precise, calculated. A single beam from beneath the ocean had cut through its armor, as if the humans had been waiting for centuries. Commanders barked orders to spread the ships to move higher into orbit, but the planet below was alive now. Energy surged through hidden lines that crisscrossed the globe. Old satellites thought to be dead suddenly lit up, forming a shimmering net around Earth. The young officer, still watching from the lead ship, whispered, "This was never silence. This was slumber." Another ship dared to fire on the planet, sending a barrage of plasma bolts into the ruins of an old human city. The ground shook. The buildings collapsed into dust, and for a moment it looked like victory, but then the Earth itself split open, and from the cracks rose colossal towers of steel, glowing with human symbols. Cannons unfolded like the wings of ancient beasts, and in an instant, the attacking ship was obliterated. Panic spread through the alien fleet. They built this?" One commander stammered. "But how?" They had no time, no resources. The human voice returned, now louder, broadcast through every channel, impossible to block. "We knew our world was dying. We knew the stars would come for us, so we prepared. Every war we fought, every machine we built, every sacrifice we made, it was not for us. It was for this moment." In the shadows of Earth's deserts, massive hangars opened. From within, giant constructs emerged. Machines, shaped like predators, their bodies plated with armor, their eyes glowing with human intelligence. They were not piloted. They were the pilots. Human minds uploaded long ago now lived inside steel bodies. The fleet scanned them in terror. The readings confirmed it. Biological signatures were gone, replaced with neural code. The humans had refused extinction. They had transformed. They uploaded themselves. The young officer breathed. They turned their own minds into the machines. The human voice spoke again, but now there were many voices, overlapping, each one carrying the tone of a soldier, a scientist, a child, a mother, a leader, all united, all unbroken. "We do not die. We adapt. We become. You came to conquer ghosts, but you have woken something greater." The fleets opened fire in desperation. Plasma streaked across the sky, hammering Earth's surface, but every blast was answered. Orbital cannons locked onto targets with perfect precision. Beams of energy tore through shields. Missiles, long buried beneath mountains, launched into the void and curved toward enemy ships with intelligence of their own. One by one, the Council's proud warships began to fall. Inside the Council chamber far away, the delegates watched the live feed with horror. The speaker's face twisted in disbelief. "This cannot be. Humans cannot build such weapons. They were primitives." But the old counselor shook his head. "You never understood them. Their weakness was always their strength. They turned their own destruction into a plan. They saw their end coming and made sure it would not be theirs alone." On the lead ship near Earth, the young officer watched as entire squadrons were cut down. He remembered the old human histories he had studied, their world wars, their disasters, their endless ability to rise again. Now he saw it with his own eyes. Humanity had never surrendered. They had simply changed form. Suddenly, a direct message flashed onto every alien screen. A human face appeared, not flesh, but a projection of light, eyes glowing with digital fire. It looked neither alive nor dead, but something in between. "We are the legacy of Earth. We are the sum of every human who refused to fall. You thought us broken. You thought us gone. But you were wrong. You have doomed yourselves. The face faded, replaced by the glow of targeting locks. Hundreds of red signals lit up across the alien fleets. The commanders screamed orders. Ships tried to retreat, engines burning at full speed, but it was too late. The humans had waited too long, prepared too carefully. Every weapon fired in unison, filling space with fire and light. The young officer gripped the edge of his console. He alone did not laugh at humans anymore. He alone whispered, almost with respect. They became eternal. And below, Earth burned brighter than it had in centuries, not with death but with the rebirth of its people in a form no one in the galaxy had ever seen before. The doom unleashed. The sky above Earth was fire. Alien fleets burned as human weapons cut them down one by one. What had been a proud invasion turned into a graveyard of wreckage. Shattered warships tumbled into the atmosphere, breaking apart, in flames, their debris raining onto the ruins below. But the humans did not stop. From the deserts, more towers rose. From the oceans, more beams of light erupted. The machines buried deep in Earth's crust awakened in full, their power surging into orbit. Earth itself had become a fortress, a final creation of a people who refused to die. Inside the lead alien ship, panic spread like disease. Commanders shouted orders that no one could follow. Engines roared to retreat, but targeting locks held them in place. Every movement was met with precision fire. The young officer stood still, watching the chaos. His hands shook, but not from fear alone. It was awe. They are not fighting to survive, he whispered. They are fighting to remind us who they are. Another blast ripped through a cruiser outside, and the officer's words proved true. Humanity had not launched a desperate defense. They had unleashed a carefully built plan centuries in the making. They had chosen this end. Across the fleet, human voices filled every comm channel. Not screams, not anger, calm, steady voices, overlapping like a chorus. You came for our ashes. You came for our silence, but you will leave with nothing. We are the shadow that remains when the body is gone. We are the voice that echoes when the mouth is closed. We are the memory that becomes weapon. The fleets tried to scatter. Some ships jumped toward the edge of the system, but their drives failed as satellites released waves of interference. Others turned their weapons on the planet in a last attempt to scorch it clean. The blasts struck Earth's surface, carving craters into ruined cities, but the machines below kept rising. Each wound only revealed more steel beneath. The council chamber, light years away, erupted with chaos. Delegates screamed at each other, demanding the fleet's return, demanding someone take control. But it was too late. The speaker slammed his staff again and again, shouting over the noise. They cannot win. They are finished. Yet on the screens, the truth was clear. Humanity was winning. The young officer, still alive as his ship shuddered, under fire, remembered the histories he once read. The humans had a saying, "If you strike us down, we will rise again." Now he understood. They had risen not as flesh, but as machines, as a digital eternity carved into the bones of their world. Then the final transmission came. Every alien ship, every council chamber, every listening post across the galaxy received it. A human face appeared once more, formed of light and fire. Behind the face was Earth itself, glowing with the fury of its awakening. You believed us gone. You believed us weak. But weakness is what made us strong. We broke, and we rebuilt. We fell, and we rose higher. You came to conquer a grave, but you have awakened an army of ghosts. You have doomed yourselves. The fleets collapsed in the final wave. Weapons fired in perfect unison, guided by human minds that had once fought on battlefields of flesh and now commanded arsenals of steel. Alien ships shattered like glass. The void lit with their fire. At last, silence returned. But it was no longer the silence of a dying world. It was the silence of victory. Above the burning planet, only wreckage floated. The humans did not pursue the survivors. They did not send demands or ultimatums. They simply let the message repeat across the stars, unstoppable and eternal. We warned you. You have doomed yourselves. On the lead alien ship, Broken and drifting, the young officer closed his eyes. He was the only one aboard who no longer felt hate for the humans, only respect. "They are not gone," he whispered. "They never will be." And so it was. The galaxy had laughed at Earth's fall. They had mocked the humans as reckless, violent, and doomed. But in the end, the humans had done what they always did. They turned their end into a weapon, their silence into a warning, their extinction into legend. Earth was no longer just a world. It was a tomb and a fortress, a monument to a species that refused to be erased. Every star system now whispered the same words: "Beware humanity. Even in death, they fight." And as the final wrecks burned in Earth's atmosphere, the voice of mankind faded into the void, not with despair but with cold certainty. "You have doomed yourselves."